You didn't come into this world, you came out of it, like a wave from the ocean. You're not a stranger here. Look at nature. Look closely and see how unhurried she is. Look how fulfilled she is. Look how balanced and harmonious she is. Surely we can learn from her ways, since we too are a part of creation. I think that this inherent slowness, which is a part of our human nature, becomes sort of disordered and scrambled when we live in a society that values speed, because speed increases efficiency and the modern world seems to demand efficiency. We get so caught up with being busy that we lose the time to cultivate ways of living slowly and intentionally. We become attached to the illusion of there never being enough time. We're conveniently handed effortless and mindless ways to receive dopamine that make us feel pleasured and satisfied. But it feels like more and more of us are yearning for a slower paced life. It feels like we're becoming more aware as a society, or maybe that's just the echo chamber of my personal life and what the algorithm feeds back to me. But I often see things like this on the internet, and it makes me feel as though there's some collective sense of a want to slow down. At least I hope there is. It's been raining for the past I want to say 2 weeks. It's been raining for so long, it feels like forever. And the sun came out yesterday and the sun's out today. And so I've been making the most of it. I came for a swim yesterday morning. Now I'm down here for a swim again this morning before work, and it feels so good. Feeling so much lighter at the moment than I have over the past few weeks, which feels really, really nice. I feel like I've come back to joy and curiosity and wonder and excitement. It's so funny going through the motions in life and feeling your emotions change through moments. I was feeling myself getting so caught up in the fastness of everything. I don't know, I think that when you're in a bit of a lower state and you're not feeling as fabulous, it can be so easy to get caught up into things that bring you pleasure quickly. I was scrolling on my phone heaps, and I feel I just go on my phone and go on, say, open Instagram or something and start scrolling, and then 10 minutes or 15 minutes will pass by and I'll get off my phone and I'm did I even choose that? Did I choose to go and spend my time doing that just then, or was that just a pattern and a habit and just a subconscious way for myself to find quick and easy pleasure? And so I've been trying to slow down more and find ways in my day-to-day life where I can find pleasure, but in a more substantial and wholesome way. I genuinely just think that the default mode of society and the way that we have to live in the world in order to be quote unquote successful and to survive and to make money is to live in a way that is more fast-paced. And I feel it is kind of radical to be I'm gonna live my life more slowly and intentionally, because I don't think that society is set up in a way for us to do that innately. I feel we have to choose and be conscious about it, about finding ways to slow down and to prioritize just kind of disconnecting and doing things for us and things that make us feel good substantially, because there's so many ways that we can find quick ways to make us feel good in this world, in this life. But I think that things that actually make you feel good from a deeper place take more time, something that we seem to never have enough of. Anyway, do I have time is the question. It's 8:30. I start work in half an hour. This is what I mean. I'm just trying to live my life slowly, trying to go for a nice swim before work, take in some sun. I feel I'm just trying to take full advantage of what I do have at this phase of my life right now, rather than what I don't have, because what I don't have will come around in the future and become what I do have. And then if I'm not content with what I do have now in every moment, there's always going to be something that I don't have, if that makes sense. There's always going to be something to yearn for and long for in life. Places, people, things, whatever. But there's always going to be things that we do have. And I feel I'm just trying to switch my mind more to be look at what you do have. And it's so amazing. Anyway, I need to go and get ready for work. Okay. Time for a day in the office. Let's go.
The moon dances upon my skin to make my glow apparent.
I want to listen to something chill. A beautiful man and a rich man.
Critical battery, please charge.
Vibe killer. This is why we need to move away from technology, because shit runs out of battery.
Oh, this one looks more. It'll be an acting different.
I could be here for hours.
You have a rooster, you must have an end. And if you have a star, you must have an end.
I didn't kneel and pray before I close my eyes. Total destruction, the only solution. I'm then bring to pocket.
Read this paragraph in the book and I feel like it really resonated and I want to read it. So to paraphrase, there is a kind of innocent misunderstanding that we all share, something that can be turned around, corrected and seen through as if we were in a dark room and someone showed us where the light switch was. It isn't a sin that we are in the dark room, it's just an innocent situation. But how fortunate that someone shows us where the light switch is. It brightens up our life considerably. We can start to read books, to see one another's faces, to discover the colours of the walls, to enjoy the little animals that creep in and out of the room. We begin to find that our world is more vast and more refreshing and fascinating than we had realised before. The innocent mistake that keeps us caught in our own particular style of ignorance, unkindness, and shutdownness is that we're never encouraged to see clearly what is with gentleness. Instead, there's a kind of basic misunderstanding that we should try to be better than we already are, that we should try to improve ourselves, that we should try to get away from painful things, and that if we could just learn how to get away from the painful things, then we would be happy. That is the innocent, naive misunderstanding that we all share, which keeps us unhappy. That paragraph is all I need for this morning. I'm just gonna sit with that little snippet, and that's enough. And I feel like that is what gets me into states of feeling low and unhappy and unsatisfied, and it's because I'm trying to solve something, trying to fix some sort of conundrum that I've sort of made up in my head for myself, and in doing that I close myself off from seeing the beauty of what's in front of me. And yeah, like I said yesterday morning, here and now, that's what I'm trying to do at the moment. I'm here and it's now, it's the morning, it's a beautiful morning, and that's that. How wonderful. It's another sunny day, so you know what that means. Another morning swim, of course, naturally. I had a nice little session at the gym, very like improvisational. I didn't really have much of an idea of what to do, so I just kind of did what felt good. And I am running on a bit of a tight time frame because I have a meeting at 10 a.m. It's like 9:20 now. Oh my god, this lily pond is so beautiful. Look. Tell me that's not a Monet painting. Wow. And so I guess this week for the solo stuff, I want to do like an evening with me, kind of like get unready with me, maybe with like a voiceover, with like having a shower and like using the candle and the body oil and then the lube and the vibrator in the evening. Yeah, that's a good idea. Full of the good ideas today. That's nice. And then I wanted to do... I've also been using learning a language as a way to slow down a bit more and get more pleasure and dopamine and like that feel-good energy from things that are more intentional rather than just like fast-paced pleasure, because it feels really good when you notice yourself improving at something, like whatever the skill is. But I feel like with learning a language, you can really like track your progress and see how much you're improving throughout learning. So I've been using Lingoda to learn Spanish, and they've sponsored this video. I've done in-person classes at university in the past to learn Spanish, and with using Lingoda now, I genuinely think it's like just as good as in-person classes, because the way it works is they have all different levels of different languages. Like you can start right at the beginning if you're new, or you can also do like an introductory test to see where you're at. And then when you get established into your course, they then have like a course curriculum and a program which you can go through and book classes. And you can also book classes based on different topics. So if you're more looking to learn about certain vocabulary or learning about certain things, you can sort of filter through to get to that, which is really helpful. And when you book the classes are super small, so there's like 4 or 5 people in each class, and it's always with a native Spanish speaker, and you basically just like speak Spanish throughout the whole class. But what I find like one of the best things about it is that before you go into the class, you can look at the lesson material and preview what you're going to be learning about and sort of get your head into it so that you're not really put on the spot in the class. And also once the class is over, you can then do a little recap just to go through what you actually learned. And I genuinely just think they are a great language learning platform and a great way to actually properly get into learning a language, because it is very in-depth and thorough. You're not just learning random greetings and like words without context, you're really getting a really good understanding. They offer something called the Sprint Challenge, which is a really good way to establish a new language learning habit. In the Sprint Challenge, you can do 30 lessons in 60 days, so like a lesson every other day, and you'll get 50% of your money back, or you'll get an additional 30 credits, which is another 30 classes, which is just a great way to continue learning. And then with the super sprint, you do a lesson every day, so 60 lessons in 60 days. And you'll also get 50% of your cash back, or you can get 60 credits, which is amazing. Like, that's just so much more opportunity to continue learning. I've been using Lingoda for the past month, on and off, and I've been really seeing my own speaking really improve and my own listening really improve. Like, even when I read something, I see something in Spanish, like I'm watching a TV show, I'm like, oh my God, I actually understand more or less what they're saying, whereas before I didn't. So I do see the improvement in me, and it's really satisfying and encouraging to see that. I'm going to do this class now called My Future Plans, where we will learn to talk about our future plans and intentions, which is exciting because I love talking about that kind of shit. So let's preview the lesson material. Puedo hablar de planes y proyectos en un futuro inmediato. I can speak of my plans and projects in the immediate future. So that's what we're going to learn about. La rutina de Britney, y después ella levanta su cama, ella come desayunar, y sí, eso es todo.
The privatisation of government enterprise was to a point necessary, but it massively overcorrected. There was no need, for example, either to apply the principles of the private market to, for example, education.
Anyway, thanks very much everyone, and thanks again to the
It is a new day. It's Thursday morning. It's 8:30 a.m. and I'm going to go to the farmer's market. It's drizzly and rainy today, a stark contrast to how the weather's been the past few days, but can't have sunshine every day. I had a pretty big night last night. Not a big night. To me, a big night for my life at the moment, because I feel like I don't do things in the evening very often. But I very spontaneously went to a talk because a friend had a ticket and she messaged me asking if I wanted to go. And I was like, sure, why not? So I went, and it was a talk about economics and government and policy, which are things that I honestly don't know that much about. There was a lot of moments in the conversation where I was questioning what was being said, or, you know, when you don't have a full understanding of things and it's hard for things to fully land. But I think it's great going to things and involving yourself with things that you don't know 100% of, right? That's how we learn, and that's how we get opened to new things. So I loved it for that. And there's going to be like a talk every week for the next month, I think. So I definitely want to go to some more. It's like listening to a live podcast that you can actually engage with. I love things that are in like the physical, like live music, talks, plays, things that are actually there and like tangible, have such a different energy to like consuming things digitally. And it's also like not being able to pause and rewind and skip, and it being all real time. I feel like it makes you engage so much more with the material and like actually focus. And it was really wonderful. I was just sat there for the whole time and like actually engaged in this talk for like the hour and a half that it went on for. And it was great. And the whole audience was super engaged. I just think that conversations are so important. As much or little as you understand, just like immersing yourself in conversation is so beneficial and opening, which I think is what we all need so much more of in this era of like algorithms and technology and everything sort of being so insular in a way. I don't know, I think that like technology, and we've got so much information in this era that we're in right now, but at the same time I feel like things can become such an echo chamber because of the algorithm, and like you kind of just get more of the same shouted back at you. That's what I feel, at least. I feel like it's hard to like pierce through into something new without it being like an intentional search of you looking to find that. Otherwise you're just getting more of the same shit fed to you. So it's nice to just seek things outside of that, which I think talks are great for. Anywho, let's go to the farmer's market. It's raining, I said that already, but I've got my they're so muddy, my boots, because I don't want my shoes to get muddy. I love a rainy day every now and then, just for the vibes, just for the ambiance, to put on some like melancholic music and get in your feels. I think a rainy day is wonderful for that. As long as it doesn't go on for too long, then you get too deep into your feels. We just need like a little sprinkle of it, and then the sun needs to come back. Do you guys ever get emotional hangovers? I feel like sometimes I wake up and I feel so faded. Two things will do it to me: having vulnerable conversations and having lots of dreams. You know, when you wake up and you're like, something fucking happened in the unconscious realm last night, like something was going on, and then I'll start to remember like fragments of my dreams, but not like a whole thing. And I'm just like, there was so many separate things happening in my dreams last night, and I feel like they were all really intense. And then I had like a vulnerable conversation last night, and I've just woken up feeling like, whew, it's a big one. But and it's a cloudy day. Feeling it. I'm feeling rattled. I've got my journal and we're going to get back on track. This is me in real time. I'm going to journal, I'm going to meditate, and then I'm going to go to the gym. And hopefully this day can get back on track, because I don't want to feel in this weird space for the whole day. I feel like it's just a morning thing. Like I literally just woke up. So good morning, guys. And I don't want to be perceived. Next. Give it to me. We all need somebody to lean on. Thank you very much. Who is he and what is he to you? Who is he and what is he to you? You say you never had much. I'm wondering what's not enough to. living a balanced life is so much about continually reminding ourselves that we come from nature, not into it. We might get swept away by the demands of our busy lives again and again as we go through different seasons and cycles, but we must continually choose to return to attentiveness, curiosity, and intentionality. Everything moves in waves, and this too follows a fluctuating pattern for me. Sometimes the tide of the material world sweeps me away from the shore, but with every sweep I'm eventually pushed back and reminded of the ground I stand on. And it continues like this, the push and the pull, the ebb and the flow, each one leading to the next. Don't fret when you're swept away from shore, because each and every time you'll return.